Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Last Claudia. It has been a very long time since I've been able to say that, so definitely got a little bit to talk about today. The first thing I want to go over is why I haven't made content in so long. Two, I'll go over what the video is about, which is basically my favorite units of 2022. I will say this has been a pretty strong year for Last Claudia, so definitely a fun time for this game. So what we're gonna do is first kind of go over what's been going on for the past few months. So I think the last time I made a video was when Balin came out, like Shiv Balin, which I was super hype on. I think that was the last time I made a video. But either way, uh, more or less what happened is two things. One, I kind of got bored of just doing the same old videos of just talking about a unit every time they come out. There's so many other creators that do that, and I figured I don't need to be another voice for what everybody else is already doing, so just let other people do it. But the second thing, and probably the biggest reason that I stopped making content overall, is because I actually got sick. So I was in the hospital for a while. I had kidney failure, and now I'm on dialysis. Now, if you're interested in what dialysis is or what kidney failure does to you, there's plenty of resources online. I'm not going to go over it here, but if you're curious about what's going on, that's what it is. I will be okay overall. I do have to go to treatments and stuff, but God will take care of me, so I'm fine. All right, so now to the good stuff. Let's go ahead and go over some of my favorite units of 2022. And we'll do this starting off by going through the characters that I did not pull. Which character did I feel like I missed out on the most? And for me, that's pretty obvious. It's going to be our boy Bayland here. This was the one person I was super duper hype about. Well, actually, I was hype about three or four characters this year, but this one was really, really something special, something strong. And what was sad about it was that I actually spent enough money to get both paid items because I had every intention of getting them and using them. Unfortunately, I never pulled them. I didn't have enough money to pity, and I really don't feel like wasting money trying to pity a character. So I just never got them. Now we're gonna do something real quick, and we're gonna see if we can idiots can redeem themselves. They have this new units not held 10 spin gotcha. We're gonna roll on this on the recorded video just to see how fortunate I can be. Now, before I do that, I want to make one last point about this set of characters that I did not pull. Uh, One thing to note specifically in terms of collabs, I completely blanked out on the slime rerun. When I say blanked out, what I mean to say is I actually spent crystals, even though I wasn't super hype on it. I didn't get a single character, nor did I get a single arc. I literally had zero luck. And then, of course, I was not playing during the DMC rerun, so that's why you don't see their shards up there at all. All right, so let's see if we can't be lucky today, and I mean extremely lucky, and see if we can't pull our boy Balin here. Now, what we can do here is we can take a look and see these are all the possible characters I can pull. So the bad news is there's a lot of characters that I can get that I don't want. And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm looking at this list, there are only about I'd say three characters I really want, which is Balin, Alice, and Ardeen. That's it. The other characters have their usefulness, but ultimately the only ones I want are the three that I mentioned. So unfortunately, the odds of me pulling them is very low. So there's a chance that I just might not get them. I won't be sad if I get Mirren or Maja or even Lagravos just because they're good mages. The rest of them, I just really hope I don't get because that would just be kind of a waste in my opinion. So let's do this. Let's take a look and see how lucky I am. Can I get Balin, Alice, or Ardeen? Here, we'll do this for fun. Why not? Get the whole squad in there, so we squad up. What would be cool is if we got multiple reds and pulled multiple units I don't have, but no, it's not going to happen here. All right, let's see what we get. You know what? I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset at all. So my understanding, if I remember correctly, is this is a no attribute attacker. Really, really good against dragons, if I'm not mistaken. But the reason I'm okay with pulling him is because I don't have any up to date, like recent no attribute characters. So this will finally give me one. I think he's no attribute. I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm actually okay with pulling him, and I'll make use of him. So now what we're gonna do is just kind of go over some of the characters this year that I did pull that are my favorites. Now the first thing we're gonna talk about is my favorite non-limited unit. So characters that you can get out of the general pool. Now, just to kind of give you a hint of who this character is going to be, pretty hype on that character. I think I was so hype on that character that I got both paid gears for that particular character as well. That's how super duper excited I was for that specific character. And I still use the character from time to time. So, it's one of those things where just super happy. But let's go ahead and reveal the character that was my favorite for non limited. And there we are, Inventive Queen Merity. Yes, she I was super duper hype on for a few reasons. So this particular character was a character where you could turn off certain skills to make the skills stronger in terms of more damage and damage cap, and you can also recharge your SCT a lot faster. And there's a specific thing that I like about her is that her S1, I believe, the one that does fire damage, it hits from anywhere on the map. It could be diagonal, it can be across the screen, it doesn't matter. It will always, you don't have to move to use it. And just being able to easily spam that over and over is super duper cool. So, yeah, this is easily my favorite of the non limited characters. Now, as far as DOH, for the next character we're going to talk about, just to kind of give you a clue here. Oh, actually, forgot to mention that yes, I did pull both of her paid gears, like I mentioned earlier, which was the Machina arm and the Machina suit, I believe. They were both part of the whole package. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the next character, who's going to be the my favorite of the DOH units that I pulled. Now, to give you a clue here, and if you've watched my older content, you probably could possibly guess who it was, but this was another character that I was so hype about that I got both paid gears for that character as well. So you're noticing a trend here is that when I really, really like a character, I go all out. Like I will buy both paid gears. Even if I don't get the character, I will still get the paid gear just in case I pull the character later in the future. I'll at least be able to accessorize them the way that I want. Like when I value a character a lot, I will invest money in them. All right, so let's go ahead and reveal the next character, the my favorite character from a DOH for 2022. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the AOG Melee. That's right. This was a character who I just liked for tons of reasons. I liked her design. I liked her skills in general. So she was kind of like the modern day Logia. Being able to just get debuffs, deal tons of damage is super duper good. I highly invested in her when she first dropped to the point to where I have 100 SC for her. Like that's how hardcore I went on this particular character. And of course, I did buy both of her paid gears, like I mentioned earlier. Uh, I've always been a fan of characters that can do status elements, and she 100% was everything that I wanted. I have zero complaints with this character. I still use the character to this day for certain content, or if I'm just trying to have fun. Just a super duper good unit. I still think she's relevant for what she is. Even though she may not be the best in terms of damage dealing, because obviously as new characters released, the status quo always goes up. But what she does is different enough to where she still is a pretty top tier unit. Now, the next character we're going to talk about is the character that was going to be my favorite in terms of the seasonal units. Now, of course, there are only two options for this category, which is going to be the summer unit and the winter unit. So, pretty confident that you guys can probably guess which one my favorite one is, but in this particular one, I didn't necessarily get both of the paid gears, even though I do like the character a lot. Not enough to invest that much into the character. But let's go ahead and go over it. Surprise, surprise, Saintly Melee. That's right. So this particular character I really enjoyed when I pulled her. So with this particular character, I didn't really go over her because I wasn't making content. So it's kind of one of those things where you didn't really hear me provide much feedback on what I like about her. And I'm not gonna do like a full breakdown here, but I'll just kind of give you some basics. So she's a dark attacker that uses an axe, which I don't have a lot of characters that do that personally. So that was kind of nice. She is a character that does still have her unique debuff, and it's easy to inflict that debuff with her S2, I believe, is what it is that can easily do it. It can hit from a good distance, and overall, I mean, she does some really good damage. On top of being able to do really good damage, she also not only can buff her damage cap, but she can buff an actual unit's another unit's damage cap as well. And some of these can stack. There's a bit of a time thing you can do with it, but for the most part, she's really good on the support and she's good on dealing damage, which is like the perfect combination. Anytime that you can do damage on your own really well while helping the rest of the team, that makes you a solid unit, like all over. So, yeah, I was definitely happy to get her. As far as the summer unit that came out, I thought she was okay, but honestly, I wasn't that impressed. It was actually the first time ever that I wasn't overly impressed with the summer unit. So it was a bit of a letdown. I still tried to pull her, but I wasn't able to pull her. But thankfully, with Melee, I did actually like her, and I was able to pull her very easily. Thankfully, so I didn't have to waste a lot of much money on her at all, or resources, I should say. But again, I didn't really buy both of her paid gear. I just got her weapon, and that was it. And that's all I really did. And I think I did pull the arc as well, which was really nice. So yeah, overall, really really fun character. I liked her a lot. And then the last thing we're gonna go over today is just my favorite collab character. Now, of course, a couple of things to note here regarding which collab character, which is probably going to be the hardest for you guys to guess, in all honesty. I'll give you some clues here. So, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't pull anyone from the Slime collab, so they're automatically disqualified. I also was not playing during the rerun of the DMC collab, so I missed it on that completely, so those are not going to be on here as well. So that only leaves the collabs from Attack on Titan, or the collab from the Tales series. As a matter of fact, I started playing again right before the Tales collab dropped. That's when I got back into the game after getting sick for a while. So I'll kind of give you an idea. I'm thinking those are the only two collabs I participated in. I'm not sure. Oh no, there was another collab, wasn't there? Well, obviously, since I can't remember what the other collab was, it's obvious that there's no character from the other collab that was my favorite. All right, so let's go and reveal my favorite collab character of 2022. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mikasa. So she came out during the Attack on Titan collab, which I believe was the first collab we got this year. So the fact that the first collab ended up being one of my favorites of the year was definitely a nod to how much I really like this character. Now, I didn't get any of her, well, I only got one of her paid gears, so I wasn't super duper, hype about her, but I was hype enough to where I can call her my favorite. Now, the thing that excited me about her was the fact that she's a critical based unit. I Anyone that knows me knows that I like to build criticals on a lot of my characters. That's just something fun that I like to do. And she rewards you for being able to do crits by adding some damage cap to your criticals. Also, any type of slayer or weak attribute weakness damage that you do has a chance to get you a pursuit as well. And then, of course, if you equip her a bow and give her the star bow or the starlight bow arc, whatever it's called, you can easily just rack up tons and tons of damage with her. She's really, really good if you're looking for a good critical based unit. In all honesty, there were a lot of good units this year overall. Like I think Adis did a really good job on their characters. They really highlighted single wheel units as well. But as far as the collab is concerned, I mean, this was kind of like my favorite. Not even like favorite character, but just my favorite collab in general. I kind of like the idea of all of us working together to slay giants. It did get repetitive after a while, but it was a cool idea on paper, and I appreciate them for coming up with the idea for the very first collab of the year. So I thought that was really, really cool of them. And yeah, that's really all I can say about her. Now, just in general, I just kind of want to quickly say, as far as in the future, will I be making content? So, to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to be making much content. Like I said, typically I make videos in terms of, a new unit coming out talking about them, but you have a lot of podcasts you can listen to. There are a lot of other creators that talk about, breaking down these characters. I don't really need to be a voice for it. I'd rather just kind of rest and let everybody else do the work for now. If I make any videos, it's either going to be just a topical one about just a random topic, or my end of year thing like I do I'm gonna start doing every year as long as I'm playing the game. But that's probably going to be it as far as the content I do. So don't expect a lot of content like every 2 or 3 weeks when the unit drops. It's probably just going to be like once a year thing, or I might review collabs in the future. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But overall, that's going to be how it is. Special shout out to Mobile Gamers Unite. To be honest, while I was gone, he reached out to me directly. Basically, we're going back and forth for a while, and I decided because I had stopped playing the game altogether after I got sick, and I honestly wasn't gonna come back, to be honest. I was gonna focus on other things, but after we talked for a while, and I realized that I actually kind of missed the game, so I decided to get back in. I'm glad I did. This is a really, really good game. There's been a lot of good quality of life stuff that's happened while I was gone. Like the LC pass, I thought was a huge deal. Maybe I'll do a video talking about what I like about it, and just some other small things that they've done here and there with quality of life that has made the game more enjoyable. So I'm definitely happy with what Adis has done overall. I'm not saying this is the perfect game, but it is my favorite gotcha game. And like I said, there are only two things that I really complain about. One is the fact that there's paid and unpaid gems. I never liked that in any gotcha game. And of course, two, the I don't like the pity system. Only because it just costs way too much to pity a character. I just don't think it's worth it. But other than that, I think they do a great job with everything else. You know what I mean? Everything else I would just be nitpicking. But those are really my only two major complaints about the game. Other than that, they're doing a great job. Keep it up. And again, thanks Mobile Game Region I for reaching out to me directly to check up on me and all that. I really appreciate it. Also, apologies to the Nova Strike Guild. Nova Strike was a guild that I created when they started doing the whole guild thing. And of course, shortly after I created the guild, I got sick, and then of course I wasn't playing for a while, so I ended up being removed by the game itself. So hopefully, whoever became the leader has taken care of it and just let it be a nice home for some casuals to have fun. And I hope you continue to thrive. In the meantime, I am currently in the Mobile Gamers Unite Guild. Just kind of as a thank you to him, I decided to kind of join his guild and just kind of, chill with them for a bit. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you for listening this entire time, and I appreciate everything you guys do here. Until next time, keep gaming. Take care, everyone. Later.